Hey everybody, Rich Sealing here, and today I want to talk to you about how much resolution you need to make big prints like these I have before me. Because this is a question that I often see people asking about. I see people answering it with answers that really aren't quite the right answer, and I want to give you the straight scoop as a professional that's made over 1 million prints for galleries and museums. So if you want to make, say, a 20 by 30 print like this, and I'm going to have to scoot way back so you can see this. This is actually a 20 by 26. I've cropped it for the format, but it's a 20 by 30 in resolution. How much resolution do you need for that? And what's going to look good? I think that's what we're really asking with this question. What's going to look good and what's acceptable? And I'm going to tell you what's acceptable at a professional standpoint. So let's start with the problem. People tell you you need 300 pixels per inch to make a good print. And while 300 pixels per inch will make a very good print, when you go to make something larger, you often don't have that resolution. And that's a problem we've had since the beginning of digital printing. If you have a 24 megapixel camera and go to make a 20 by 30 inch print, you've got 200 pixels per inch. And some people are going to say, oh, it doesn't matter. They're going to say that's enough. They're going to give all kinds of reasons. But I think there's a more practical answer. What have photographers been doing since the dawn of digital printmaking? And what do their customers and what do gallery curators think is acceptable? And the answer is pretty simple. Professional photographers have been printing at 200 pixels per inch for large prints since the beginning of digital printmaking. It's a standard practice and it's acceptable. Now, will you get a sharper print if you have more resolution? Well, yes, in most cases you will, but that's not the point. The point is we don't have more resolution most of the time. Unless you're photographing with a 60 megapixel camera, you're not going to make a 300 ppi print at 20 by 30 inches. And that's probably most of us. And if you go back through the history of our digital cameras, we've got a lot of smaller files. So as a professional printmaker, making prints that have been in the Smithsonian and galleries throughout the country and museums, I've made a lot of 200 pixel per inch prints. I've even made prints at smaller pixels per inch. And professionals love them. Gallery curators love them. It works. So the question isn't so much what's the correct mathematical answer, it's what can we get away with? What's considered acceptable? And for a print like a 2030, a 24 by 36 like this black and white behind me, 200 pixels per inch is completely acceptable. Really, the answer is whatever you have, just print it. If you're not happy with it, then you're going to have to look at, do you really want to shoot a higher megapixel camera, or what's the take with that? But again, I want to get back to what people have been doing. I've made prints for professional photographers from 6 and 12 megapixel cameras at 48 by 72 inches that they've sold to clients for thousands of dollars and made them happy. And they put it in museum and gallery exhibitions. And the viewers and the curators were all happy. This has actually been going on since the beginning of digital printmaking because I've been making digital prints since before we had digital cameras. I scan film for photographers, mostly 35 millimeter photographers, and 35 millimeter barely has 6 megapixels. But that didn't stop people like Galen Rowell from making giant 40 by 60 inch prints from his 35 millimeter transparencies. He made those prints and they were beautiful. Now, are they the same as if you'd used more resolution? Well, no. Like I said in the beginning, more resolution generally makes a higher resolution print. But that doesn't mean you need it. And that's the whole point here. What do I need versus what's nice to have? And you know what? I love resolution. I love detail. I love seeing all those things. So I work to build that into my photographs. But at the end of the day, what do I have? Did I make a beautiful photograph? That's what matters most. What's the expression? What did you capture and bring out? Not the technical details. And then go ahead and print it. If you want to make a beautiful large print of one of your favorite photographs to go over your couch or in your living spaces or your office, you should do that. And another thing that you need to consider is what upresing software can do. It's only in the last few years that we've had this incredible level of upresing technology that can take very small files and do some pretty incredible things with them. So the answer from a few years ago really isn't even the same answer today. We can make giant prints from most of the photographs we've made, and they're going to look really, really good. Don't let the theoretical answers put out on the internet define this for you. Make some prints yourself. Look at what you get from that and decide, does that make you happy? And I bet you're going to see, like most professionals, if you want to make a 20 by 30 print or larger at 200 pixels per inch, you're going to love it. So go out there and make some prints. If you go to my website, richsealing.com, I've got a free workshop, and you're going to see that link right at the top. And it talks about my 5 fundamentals. And the 5 fundamentals are the approach I use for editing. They're 5 essential tools I use for evaluating a photograph every time I'm looking at it. And I use that information to decide what do I need to do to that photograph? Do I need to make it brighter or darker, or all these attributes? And every time I edit, I think through these 5 fundamentals. Creating this workshop has made me a better photographer, and I know it's going to help your editing too. So check out richsealing.com, keep an eye out for my next video, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a bunch.